So me I go start from where me stop in a something I go happen chapter. It was a yardman named Wayasi who gave them hell the entire time. It took the British years to get rid of Wayasi, even when they curtailed him. The pressure continued. Remember the pirate Henry Morgan? The wicked pirate in whose honor we foolishly named our great harbour in Port Royal. He was a British governor who has early as the 1670s had problems with the slaves rebelling. My people, we did not take the pressure from the Europeans lying down. We kept saying something will go happen, even on the slave ships with our feet in shackles, with no food and no bathroom. We still revolted. We went so far that the British were forced to sign a treaty with the Maroons. That treaty quelled things with a certain set of blacks, but the majority never give up. Straight up, the first holiday we should celebrate is Taki's War. Taki was a Coromantine slave from Africa. For many, this may be your first time hearing about the tribe, but the Coromantines were like the Gaza people. They would not accept slavery and control from Babylon and would not stop fighting. As a matter of fact, with the exception of the British, all Europeans were reluctant to challenge them for fear of their rebellious nature. Real thing people. Coromantines were conquerors. Nobody know if it dig up my family tree. I am sure the man them from the Gaza, a straight Coromantine. We need to have some youth study and find the exact day Taki started his war so that we can celebrate properly because he decided that not only was he going to be free, but he and other blacks would rule Jamaica. Taki never achieved all this objective because he wreaked havoc in St. Mary. He attacked the plantations and took weapons. A lot of whites and their families were killed and properties were destroyed. This made the Europeans realize that they could not continue treating blacks as simpletons. If it was not for an informer slave who revealed Taki's plan, who knows what would happen differently. Taki was such an imposing force that even after they killed him, war was in the air as he had to set the stage up for rebellion, a stage that the oppressors could not break down. Kartel wants to see the day Taki War was celebrated as a public holiday. Babylon keep boxing there. It's just an insult to poor people. I was influenced by many stories in our history when I wrote the song about the biggest influence was really the Sam Sharp experience. Sam Sharp initially wanted a non-violent approach to solving the problem slaves face, an arrangement where the slaves could be paid as laborers to ease their suffering. However, the oppressors would not accept any talk of paying black men for their work when it was so much cheaper to keep them as slaves. When these pleas fell on deaf ears, many slaves were fed up with the conditions and decided to take matters into their own hands. Over 100 plantations were burnt and dozens of slave owners killed, leaving the British with no choice but to resort to full abolition to protect themselves from these fiery, determined slaves. Babylon noticed pleas fell off and deaf ears, and there were significant consequences. For a long time, we have been pleading for a better life in the ghetto. Just hear us and act. We don't expect all our problems to be solved. We don't anticipate you doing anything special for us, but you must at least address some of the major issue affecting us. Paul Bogle experienced a fate similar to Sam Sharp after emancipation. Things were very rough for the freed slaves. There was poverty, and of course, they had no voice or franchise, as most of them were denied the right to vote. Bogle had first marched 45 miles to Spanish Town in St. Catherine, from Stony Gut in St. Thomas to Governor Eyre, in order to present their grievances. He tried to warn the Irish that if things didn't get better, something a go happen. The governor never even met with them. This event is actually immortalized in the Third World's 96 degrees in the shade. Many do not know that song is a tribute to the Morant Bay Rebellion, but we know we rebel music on the Gaza. Before that attempt by Bogle, blacks and missionaries wrote a letter to the Queen requesting crown land for farming so the ex-slaves could feed their families. Replied the Queen replied negatively, not only telling them that she would not help them, but that they simply needed to work harder, suggesting they were lazy. Tensions grew and the powder keg got hot with sparks. A few days before the actual rebellion, the authorities arrested a man, and Bogle, along with his crew, went to the courthouse to protest and have the man freed. Still, Babylon would not stop. They issued 27 warrants for the arrest of Bogle and his cronies, and that was when the powder keg burst. Bogle and a few hundred Gaza-type men went to the courthouse and started a war. At the end of it all, hundreds died on either side, and there was destruction of property. Again, the situation is the same in each case. The poor put their grosses in writing, and they were basically ignored, leaving them with no choice but to take matters into their own hands. The pent-up anger led to aggressive behavior. Sound familiar, Babylon? So we're gonna stop at one.